Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Allie and this is the top comment. Here we're going to be reading and reacting to internet chaos in the form of Reddit stories. So if you guys are into this type of content, please don't forget to subscribe. It would mean a whole lot to me and it's totally free. I put out new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, and I will also be including some very special bonus stories at the end of Sunday's mashup episodes. So be sure to stick around. The theme I have for you today is from first date to final straw. And this is all about delusional men and dating disasters. So let's get into it. The title of this first story says, "My boyfriend only applies to cool jobs." Hear me out. My 33-year-old boyfriend is a good person. He is a good partner, but he seems to have immature views on work and only applies to cool jobs. He recently finished his education and currently has a job that he hates. He talks about quitting every day. I don't think it's an empty threat. Don't get me wrong, I don't believe it's healthy to keep you at a job that you absolutely dread, but I'm also a realistic person, and the unfortunate exchange we take part in is where we need money for life. Yeah, agreed. He spends most days applying for jobs I imagine many middle school boys are interested in. Okay, go off. Tell us more. I'm talking like special agent or XYZ detective or wildlife monitor. All very cool, pretty much low paying, which he doesn't understand. He applies, but then says, geez, that's nothing. Who lives on that salary? As if he doesn't understand that cool jobs attract people based on the scope of work, so they don't have to use money as much to attract applicants. Yeah, you got to use your brain here, my guy. He gets somewhat far with some of them, but then sometimes there's a barrier. At this point, I wish one of them would stick so that he could have the experience of what it's actually like. Another part of the issue is he doesn't understand every job as admin tasks along with the fun stuff. He talks about every job's action you can have, like a little boy talking about how firemen use the water hose so good at work. I'm sure I'll get flack for being a bad partner or maybe even being too patient. I guess I've been understanding because I remember what it was like graduating college and thinking my job was going to be so fun and purposeful and change the world probably. After a few years, I understood that sometimes even good jobs are just, well, jobs. They are good some days and bad others, and usually don't make that much impact, and that's okay. I agree. If you are just absolutely dead end in your job, yeah, you should go find something else. But sometimes we got to do what we got to do, and it's not always fun. And like, girl, in this economy, tell your man to go get a job. He needs to. Ultimately, my finances are not technically tied to my partner at this time. Good. There are no children. Good. But goddamn, I'm still so over having a partner who refuses to act his age professionally. I never thought I would encounter this very specific problem, but here we are. Thanks for listening. Oh, honey bear. Listen, you have to have, if you want to be in a relationship, your partner needs to be giving you more. I mean, it's good that your finances aren't tied. It's really good that you don't have children, because I automatically jump to, how long have you been together? Maybe you should just break up, because if he's only applying to these cool jobs, I assume based off of this post that you guys have had the conversation together of, hey honey, being a special agent is really cool and all, but it doesn't pay the bills and we're starving and we need toilet paper. If he is still acting this way after that, I think you need to realize that he is showing you his character and trust him on that. If he's going to show you who he is and he's going to continually not listen and put you into financial disarray over this, maybe time to split up. Let's go ahead and get into some of these comments. I do have a couple of edits from OP here. So it says, I wrote this in the midst of a sleepless night and thought I would delete it in the morning, but I'm so enjoying some of the discourse on what work means to everyone. I've gotten a full spectrum of responses and some really solid perspectives and even job recommendations I hadn't thought about. Thanks everyone for listening. Edit to answer a few frequently asked questions. 1. Cool jobs have been taken in the past and it is not a new thing. Pattern creates a risk. 2. These jobs are in-person positions that would include either both a domestic or foreign move. Oh, girl. 3. We are long-term partners with dogs. Yeah, immediately no. Dump him. I'm sorry. dump him. Some of the jobs are aligned with experience and education, but some are not. Aligned jobs are certainly welcome and would justify a move for our household. Yeah, you can't go move across the world with this guy, because what's going to happen when you get there and he hates all of the admin tasks from his job, and then all of a sudden you have uprooted your entire life? I have 3 dogs. Getting dogs into a different country is not easy. It's not. I mean, there's so much requirements that come with it. And it also costs a lot of money to be able to relocate like that. And then what happens if you get stuck there and he's just being a loser and doesn't want to actually get a real job and doesn't want to work and realizes that, oh my gosh, I hate all this admin stuff. This is a nightmare situation. Like this could easily be really horrible for OP. I feel for you. I moved across the country and my ex-partner didn't want to get a job either. So I relate to this on like a spiritual level, because it wasn't easy. Like it really wasn't. When we got here, it was like in Colorado, it was a struggle. So I support you fully in whatever you decide. But if you do decide to dump him, just know that you have a little cheerleader here who is entirely on your side. For sure. 100%. So now that we've done the edits, let's go ahead and get into the comments, because that's sometimes where a lot of the drama lies. And I am so here for the tea. Okay, so the top comment on this post said, let him know there's plenty of paperwork when you're a firefighter, tons of checks, inspections, chores, and lots of unfun stuff. The days are long, you work holidays and birthdays, and you work in any weather year round. Even the cool jobs have tons of unfun crap, and that's before you even start talking about pay. Yeah, that's fair. It's work, baby. At the end of the day, it's work. You know what I mean? It can't all be fun and games. This next comment says, I had a literal dream job for 7 years running sled dogs in Colorado. I lived on a ranch with 56 huskies I absolutely loved. Lots of puppies. Love that. Love dogs. 56 of them is quite a few. But I also woke up at the crack of dawn to muck and barn and scoop the yard. Did the same before bed. Day off? Not if it snowed overnight, automatically on shovel duty. Finished running dogs for the day. Time for trail maintenance. Finally got the trail running perfect. Here's another 3 feet of snow to deal with. That's Colorado, babes. That's Colorado to a T. No matter where you live out here, the weather is just, it's very unpredictable. I mean, it's awful. The next comment says, yes, this might be true, but at the end of the day, water goes whoosh and fire goes psh. That's pretty sick. The next one down says, yeah, I'm a scientist. It's literally an office job that sounds cool at parties, which you don't get invited to because you're at work all hours of the day. You see what I mean? Even people that like that scientist, you know, they went to a lot of school and you know that this is probably what they wanted to do, or maybe along the same lines of that. And even they're sitting here saying like, you're at an office literally all day. Like you're not out like conducting experiments or whatever scientists do. All right, this next one says, only applying for cool jobs is fine if you're already employed and providing. Until you're at that point, any job is a cool job. I agree. I've had some jobs in my life that I did not want to do, and I did them because necessity. I have 3 dogs. Did I mention that? You'll probably see them in the background at some point. They're in here. This last comment says, he sounds like a G, to be honest. Your opinion will change when he's raking in the big bucks, hunting down vampires. That's what I'm talking about. You sound like a queen. You sound like you have your head on straight. And I hope that your next relationship, he's able to provide, because this guy clearly has a couple of screws loose. Yeah. Not to say that we all don't, because I definitely do, but not to the point where I'm just not going to work. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. In this economy, girl, really? No. All right. This next story is about a woman who is very angry at her partner and wanted to spite him. So let's get into it. This one says, I cut off most of my hair to spite my husband. Last night, I used to have long, curly hair almost all the way to my butt, and I cut off most of it, now barely shoulder length, just to piss off my husband. That's a lot of hair, especially if it's curly. That's a lot of hair to cut off, girl. That's a commitment. I have wanted to cut it for a long time. Honestly, not this short, but hell, I'm happy I did it. I always kept it long because he loved it long. He called it goddess hair. There were several circumstances circumstances that led me going this far, but last night was my breaking point. I'm a stay-at-home mom to 4 kids. My husband works. I take care of the kids almost 24/7. Their ages are 8 female, 5 male, 3 male, and 2 female. Oh, girl, you got your hands full. This is some background information that is important to why I did what I did. My youngest has a totally screwed up sleep schedule that I've tried to fix, but no luck. She doesn't go to bed until 3 to 4 a.m. Oof. Then I woke up at 6 a.m. to help my husband get ready for work, got the oldest 2 kids ready for school, and he takes them to school. And then I sleep from 9 to 10 a.m., and that's when the second youngest wakes up. He takes a nap around 1, and that's when the youngest wakes up. Then my husband and kids come home at 3. I clean whatever I can, and I cook dinner around 6. I have absolutely zero time to do anything for myself, and these last 2 weeks have been even harder in particular. I didn't even have time to shower. My hair was a total wreck. I told my husband over and over again last night I want to shower. He said he didn't feel good, so he couldn't give me a break. Wow, your husband doesn't feel good. Brutal for him. Bummer. So he stayed in our bedroom playing on his phone. I get the youngest to bed. I decided to sacrifice my sleep time to shower. Right when I'm headed towards the shower, my husband runs in the bathroom and takes a shower. Something in me broke. I chopped off all my hair while he was showering with a pair of blunt kitchen scissors and have zero regrets. He hates it. I'm happy with it. And I've reached a point where I just don't give a what he thinks anymore. He sounds like a loser. He sounds awful. He took the shower from you. Like, I don't know about where you live, but my water only stays hot for like 10 minutes, and that's enough for one person to shower. So did he use all the hot water too? Like, why is he so inconsiderate? You are literally raising his children. You are raising his flesh and blood, and that is profoundly disrespectful, my guy. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. It looks like we actually have a lot of comments from OP here, which is pretty cool. Sometimes they just ghost you after posting a story and you never hear. So it's nice to be able to have comments. So the top comment on this one says, "Why are you guys married?" My thoughts exactly, girl. OP responds, "He didn't do this crap until shortly after our last child was born. Before that, he literally was the perfect father. He worked, he'd pitch in with the household chores if I ever needed him to, spent all the time in the world with the kids, which gave me time to take care of myself. Literally, I couldn't ask for more." That's heartbreaking too, when somebody that you married and obviously started like a huge family with, my mind immediately goes to, okay, well, was he playing you then? Like, was he just waiting until you had the big family to sit here and be like, "Oh no, you can take care of all of it"? I personally think he should go to therapy, but that's just my opinion. This next comment says, "So he is throwing a tantrum in his own way? Sulking, if you will?" OP responds, "I'm not sure, to be honest. All of our kids were planned except for our oldest, so I'm not sure why he's been sulking over a planned baby, if that's the case." Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. One thing I've tossed around in my mind besides depression is FOMO, the fear of missing out. We were very young when we met, young when we had our daughter, and we've been together raising kids ever since, so we both just missed out on a lot of adult activities. But he has never expressed that he seemed happy until 2-ish years ago. I'm kind of wondering how old you guys are. It's very typical for men to go through midlife crises where they feel like all of a sudden, like, "Oh my God, I have this family and I haven't done anything and I missed out on all of that." And I mean, that could definitely be the case, if we want to give him any grace on this. But sounds to me like he needs to go to therapy and work through his issues and figure out, why he is sulking and why he doesn't want to help his wife and what is making him almost make these impulsive moves of, "I'm gonna run to the bathroom really, really quickly and I'm gonna take a shower," when I know that she's trying to take a shower and I know she's tired and I told her I was tired. Now I've been on my phone till 3 a.m. That is a child, my girl. That's not a man. That's a baby. You have 5 children. You don't just have 4. I'm so sorry for you. I sincerely hope that things get better, because I can't even imagine how miserable that would be to just not have any help. Like, you deserve help from the person that, helped bring these children into the world, because without him, there wouldn't be them, and he needs to pick up the slack on that. All right, moving right along. We're gonna jump back in time a little bit. We just heard about a woman who is in a tough spot in her marriage. Now we're gonna jump into teenagers on a date. So the title of this one says, "A guy left me stranded on a first date." My blood immediately starts to boil when I read this. This is nuts. Like, this is crazy. I don't care how old you are. This is crazy. So I, a 19-year-old woman, went on a date with a guy, a 19-year-old man, for the first time. It was a beautiful day where we lived, so he took me to this nature park and we went on a walk. We talked about our lives and I honestly thought it was going really well. After the walk, he said he needed to use the restroom. I did too, so he drove us to the nearest store where we could pee, which was a Best Buy. I went into the bathroom and he did too. When I came out, I waited, and I waited for him to come out. I finally got worried and texted him. The message did not go through, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt and assumed his phone died, and then got tired of waiting and went to check to see if his car was still in the parking lot. Sure enough, it wasn't. I went back inside and I asked the person in the front if they saw a man leave the store. They said they saw him run out of the store in a hurry a bit ago. So he left me stranded at a Best Buy 20 minutes from my house. Loser. Immediately no. I don't care how old you are. You could be 80 years old and if you were with someone and they ditch you, that is profoundly wrong. That's inherently wrong. The world that we live in is scary. Like, I'm not quite sure where this took place, but you don't leave people stranded like that. Like, that's horrible. I Uber home and I'm pissed. So I decided to find his family member on social media and tell them what he did. I eventually found out who I think is his sister and told her the whole story. She ensured she would get my things back to me, as some were still in his car, and even offered to reimburse me for the Uber. Some may think I'm crazy, but when one goes low, I go lower. I got my things back and they were clearly thrown in my yard out of his window. Someone was mad that their family knows what a POS they are. Girl, you dodged a bullet. This guy is horrible. He is such bad news bears. I can't believe he just left you stranded and then like took your stuff too. I mean, if you wanted to be petty and take it a step further, well, I don't know. I guess maybe I was going to say call the cops on him for stealing your stuff, but maybe that's a little too far. You know, we don't know the circumstance. I don't want to go there, you know? I think that's absolutely horrible. And I hope that his sister told his mom. I hope that they're disappointed. I hope that he is not just some mama's boy where his mom sits there and says, oh, my son could never do anything wrong. Because, kind of seems like that may be the type of person she is if she's going to raise a loser of a son who is going to abandon you on a first date. On a first date, bro, like just say, hey, this isn't working. I think I'm gonna take you home. It is not hard to say that. It's not hard to communicate. It's really, really not. I promise you. All you have to do is think the thought and then say it. Let's get into some of these comments. Not too many on this post. This seems like it was maybe a newer one. Top comment says, what an a-hole. Luckily, he let you know on the first date. Hopefully his sister talked some sense into him and he learned a lesson. The next one down says, did you get your Uber money back? OP responds and says, yes, the sister was so sweet and Venmo'd me for it. Aw, see, girls having each other's backs. I love that so much. I think that is lovely and beautiful. And that's, you know, I hope somebody can talk some sense into this man. And if not, I mean, he's just going to continue to do this to people. And like, props to you, OP, for leaving and for not going back to him and being like, why did you leave me? Like trying to figure it out, because obviously he made himself like very clear when he decided to just completely abandon you. And I think, again, if people are going to show you who they are, you should listen. And you did. And so I'm proud of you. All right, moving on to our last story for today. This one is titled, My Boyfriend is a Loser. He's 27 and already has retired due to his ADHD, so he gets a small amount of money from the government. What? I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to reread this. My boyfriend is a loser. He's 27 and has already retired due to his ADHD, so he gets a small amount of money from the government. He literally does the same things every day. Eat, sleep, go to the gym, game, watch TV. He rarely sees his friends and he posts really cringe videos on TikTok that he thinks people actually care about. He's anti-education because he thinks it's a scam. He's interested in politics, but when he talks about it, he just sounds brainwashed and naive. I'm tired of treating him like a child. He literally gets offended when I make jokes, and he doesn't understand sarcasm, which is my type of jokes. He hates that I'm currently studying at university because I'm wasting my time. I'm literally getting promoted after I finished university. I feel like we don't match each other at all. We want completely different things in life, but we don't want to break up because I really love him and I just feel stuck. I just wanted to rant. Oh, honey, you have to break up with this man. man. There are 8 billion people in the world. There are 8 billion people out here. You will find somebody who you get along with and you can easily connect with on like a deep interpersonal level. You don't have to settle just because you love him. Love is a feeling. In order to make it blossom and make it really grow, you have to be on the same page with your partner about certain things, especially about the way you joke. Like, is your relationship just so sad? Like, I don't mean to judge, but it really sounds like you should break up with him. I mean, I don't even know who you are, and I'm rooting for you because, girl, you're going to college, you're going to university right now. That's a huge accomplishment. Wanting to get promoted and wanting to get a job immediately after you get out of college, that is so admirable. For you to be able to do that is next level good. And this guy kind of just sounds like a loser. He sounds like he is, like you said, brainwashed into the whole politics thing. Like, I definitely know people like that. It's really disgusting. And then when they talk down to you like that, it just makes you feel terrible inside. And I don't wish that feeling for anybody. I mean, that's horrible. I'm really sorry that you're going through this. I know you just want to rant and I know you don't want to break up with him, but sometimes love just isn't enough, and that's okay. And it's okay to sit back and really, think about the relationship that you would have if it was somebody that cared about you and loved you and respected you. Because you might love him, but do you really love him if you're tired of the way that he thinks and talks and acts? And also, I'm sorry, I completely forgot about this because I think I had a stroke while I was reading it. He's 27 years old and he's retired because of his ADHD. Girl, I have ADHD. You can't, that's not a reasonable excuse to retire. That is not a reasonable excuse to retire at all. Like, I'm so sorry. And he gets a tiny bit of money from the government and he doesn't work and he just plays video games all day. I'm sure he has I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here. I'm sure he has some redeeming qualities, I'm sure he does. You seem like a very smart girl. I mean, you obviously picked him for a reason. What are those redeeming qualities versus the ones that he has shown you? Because clearly he's showing you he's no good. Why aren't you listening? Anyways, I'll finish ranting and we'll get into these comments. So actually it looks like there's an edit from OP first and it says, the reason I love him is because he's one of the few people who is amazing at showing how much he loves and appreciates me, gives me compliments all the time and is overly very affectionate towards me. I know he's not bullshitting me when he says he gets money from the government due to his ADHD. It's real. It's a livable amount of money, like working full-time at McDonald's, but I feel like it's an excuse to be lazy and not work. I mean, if I can get paid for my ADHD just because I have ADHD, yeah, sign me up. He also labels it as anti-establishment because he's basically scamming the government for money. No, he would love to be able to work a normal job like anyone else. He just wants to be rebellious, I guess. Edit again. There's a lot of confusion about his retirement. He was able to retire right after high school because he was offered it. Okay, now I don't like you. Why are you defending this man? Why are you defending this weird behavior? Like, he retired. That's not retirement. That is not, you didn't retire out of high school. You've never had a job. You didn't retire right out of high school. I need to know what this is. If there's not more information in the comment, OP, if you're out there listening, you better go back to that post and you better fix this because I'm starting to not like you. And like, I don't want to judge you, but at the same time, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to judge you because this is my channel and these are my hot takes. And I'm really blown away. I'm actually really blown away right now. I'm really shocked. He at 27? What? She said that he is 27. Oh, he's 27 and he's retired. Not he retired at 27. I was about to say, if he graduated high school at 27, you need to run. You need to dump him. And like, girlfriend, if you're concerned about comments, that's fine. Words of affection, I think, is a love language. That's okay. That's totally fine. No judgment there. You can find anybody that will do that will still provide and do the things that you need to do with in other ways. I mean, you can find somebody that is not retired, air quotes around retired. Okay. This man just sounds lazy. And if he's not hanging out with his friends and he's neglecting that, I mean, maybe he's going through like a mental health crisis right now because he's 27. He probably graduated a good 10 years ago and he's never done anything in his life that has meant anything or has been of any value. I mean, if you're not going to go to college, that's totally fine. If you don't want to get a job, okay. But mooching off of like government money and then saying that like you're anti-establishment because you he sounds like the type of person that sits around and listens to Joe Rogan videos all day. He sounds like the type of man that's just gonna sit there and bleed you dry. Like I almost don't believe you about this ADHD thing. Like I almost don't believe you. So let's jump into the comment and we're gonna see what the comments say. So the top comment is, I have ADHD severe and I am not retired. I didn't even know you could just get government money just for having ADHD. I don't think there are any comments from OP on here, so maybe this isn't a real story, but for the sake of the pod, we're gonna act like it is. The next comment says, I have it too, and ADHD is qualified as a disability, so this man has pled his case that he is unable to do his job due to his symptoms, and now he's on disability, not retired, which is why he receives a small monthly stipend from the government. That's okay. Okay, disability is one thing. Retired is not one thing. Okay, you're not retired. You're on disability, and that's fine. No judgment at all. Go be on disability if you want. If you're able to get it, that's totally fine. Retirement requires savings and responsibility. Facts. But we also qualify for workplace accommodations, and of course, many of us just work without any special accommodations, so it's very abnormal route for him to decide to just accept some bare minimum disability payments and stop trying to work altogether, especially since he's not even focusing on other endeavors like creating art or music. Yeah, why is he just sitting around playing video games all day? Like, at bare minimum, go on stream, make some money, like go do something with your life. Maybe you guys should sit down and have a talk. Maybe you should like suggest therapy to him, like be like, hey, you're not seeing your friends, I notice you're isolated, you know, you're showing all these signs of X, Y, and Z. I think that you would really do well with some purpose in your life. And you know, if he can't or won't, then that's fine. And if you're gonna choose to stay with him, you don't really get to complain because you know what's going on and you see it clearly. You said you're irritated with it already, and I don't know. I mean, he's approaching 30 and he's probably never had a normal job before. I wouldn't. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I couldn't be that person. And I couldn't date that person either, because what if you get married? What is that going to look like? I don't know. If you're just looking for love and affection and compliments, like, you should just get a dog. If you are just wanting affection and compliments and love, that's totally fine, girl. That's fine. You should get a dog. Like, you should very strongly consider going to the shelter and adopting a dog, because dogs will give you love and affection. Maybe not with words necessarily, but with their eyebrows and their actions and the way that they'll like come up and lay on you. I mean, they make you feel more loved than anything in the world, in my opinion. And it sounds like that you just need to go get a dog, because this guy's a loser. That's why he's on today's episode. So the rest of the comments say pretty much everything that I just said. But why are you with him? Is there anything redeeming? Are you getting anything substantial from this relationship? No, it doesn't sound like she is. And leaving is hard, man. Leaving is hard. It's scary. I don't know y'all's past. I don't know what you've been through together, but it is difficult. And you just have to like really sit and make those life choices for yourself and say, either I am not going to be putting up with this, or, you know, it's your choice at the end of the day who you want to be with. Last couple comments say, so what do you like about him? Because it sounds like nothing. Someone replied to this comment saying she likes that he loves her. Yikes. And someone else just goes, nah, bruh, you're incompatible. You just don't want to be lonely. Pull the lever, crunk. And then the last comment says, you know, you say you just want to rant, but you know how this is going to end. Why torture yourself? Yeah, girlfriend, if you're about to come up here and you're about to say that your boyfriend is 27 years old and he is retired from his ADHD, it's not a retirement thing. We don't get to retire from this. This is our brains. This is how we are. This is how we function. I have ADHD too. And you know, I think that every single person in the story today should dump them. Maybe that should be the theme, is dump him, because he's clearly a loser. And I read stories like this all the time. So this is not unique in any way. It's just part of it. And like Sabrina Carpenter says, it's slim pickings out here. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I had so much fun recording it, and I will see you on Thursday for the next one. Bye.